Imagine ascending into the sky and having to survive 100 days on a single cloud. As you progress through the layers of the atmosphere, you'll face natural disasters, custom bosses, and discover mysterious sky islands. Can I survive these extreme conditions on one cloud? Stay tuned to find out. Also, if you go on to enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe to join me on my adventures. Day 1. I took a look around and all there was clouds. Surviving up here was going to be a challenge. My first 2 items I received was a Cupid's bow, and also an arrow, which was a red bow with Infinity 1. A message then appeared across my screen saying I was in the beginner layer. I realized there was clouds with items on them, and whenever I shot them with my bow, the item would go into my inventory. There were all sorts of items, leaves, dirt. I even got myself a carrot and a potato. I kept on shooting down more clouds and got some grass, saplings, and wood. It now looked like surviving up here was a possibility. So after bowing all these clouds to get a bunch more items, I got some stone, made a stone pickaxe, got some coal and some grass, and bone mealed my first tree. For the rest of day 1, I kept on shooting down clouds, made the rest of my stone tools, and made some chests for some storage. I then made my first bed, and night had finally struck. I continued shooting down clouds, but ended up getting attacked by a phantom. I managed to take it out, but I realized my bow did almost no damage. While getting materials, I got attacked by 2 skeletons on clouds. Even without land around, it was dangerous up here. Okay, gotta take these guys out. Ow, ow, okay, that hurts. Nope. After taking a bunch of damage, I shot out the clouds from underneath the skeletons and watched them fall into the void. I then went to sleep and was ready for day 2. At the start of day 2, I bowed down a bunch more clouds, and after shooting down a bunch, I ended up seeing a couple strange looking clouds. So I pillared up to catch them with some dirt, and after catching one, they weren't actually clouds, they were sheep clouds. I created a little wheat farm and bone mealed some wheat. I then chopped down some trees, and using the wheat, I lured them into a little pen. Throughout the rest of day 2, I chopped down a bunch more trees and shot down a lot more clouds. At the start of day 3, I started to work on the foundation of my house, but it looked like a storm started to brew. And all of a sudden, while building my house, I heard a terrifying sound. Oh no, tornado! Gotta wonder if there's some dragons up here. I started to frantically build up the walls, but quickly realized the tornado was moving away from me. It was a close call, but I started to build up the walls as quickly as I could to my base, but realized I could sleep off the storm. That was a close call. On the start of day 4, I started to finish up the design of my base, creating a balcony, and created a doorway. Kept on mining trees, and while collecting some clouds, I saw something. Wait a minute. Is that a harp seal? I need to go save it. Go, 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 go. I got it. Yes. Look at it. It's so adorable. I have to build it its own house. You stay right here, little buddy. Now to get some wood. I then start building the seal's house. I need to get some more wood.
Bring me some fish while you're at it.
Wait, what? Who said that?
Hey, down here. Bring me fish.
Whoa, you can talk? How the heck does a seal know how to talk? Hello? Is it? Did it just fall asleep mid-conversation? What the heck? After the seal had fallen asleep, I finished building the base around it, and after finishing it, I decided to go to sleep as well. I began working on my roof on the start of day 5, but then a message appeared across my screen saying my cloud had expanded. I looked outside and it looked like it gotten a little bigger. Wasn't really sure how that happened. I then got some bread and brought it over to the seal. I brought you some food. Try a piece.
Yummy! I need more!
That's all you'll get for now. I need to eat too, you know.
I'll tell you a secret if you give me more.
A secret? Okay, here, take some more.
Hooray! The cloud we're on is called an altocumulus cloud. The other clouds around us are the same type, and they can stretch for thousands of miles. We're around 20,000 feet high in the sky.
How did you know that? I guess that would explain why there's so many clouds around that are so similar. What else do you know? How can I make my cloud expand more?
That will be 10 bread for that information.
Wow, okay. I'll get some more soon, just wait here. What the? Why does the seal sleep so much? After learning some more about the atmosphere, I continued shooting down clouds to get materials. I got my first lava bucket, and after a while, I finally got my first water bucket as well. Using the water and lava bucket, I made myself a cobblestone generator. I mined the cobblestone generator for about a day, laid the foundation for a second story, and after finally getting enough materials, I finished the roof of my base. The base wasn't too complex, 2 stories with a balcony, and of course a baby seal living in the shed. On day 9, I started shooting clouds again, but there ended up being some floating cows. One landed on my island and I caught the other, so I fenced off another area and lured the cows in. Afterwards, I started to work on making a little sugarcane farm, and then while dealing with a phantom on the night of day 9, I started to get attacked by some drowns. One managed to hit me with a trident and did 4.5 hearts. So by using the cover of my base, I bowed them all down, and after that, I went to sleep. And on the morning of day 10, I received a message saying I was in the iron layer. The sky seemed a little more blue, and after shooting my first couple clouds, I received a golden ingot, redstone ore, and a cake. For the rest of day 10, I kept on shooting clouds clouds, got a bunch of coal, made myself an iron pickaxe, and eventually collected enough iron for a chestplate and leggings. On the morning of day 11, I continued collecting materials. Then I decided to make a wheat farm on the roof of my house. Once I had done that, I bone mealed all my wheat and brought some bread over to my harp seal. I've got some more bread.
Bread is too boring. I need fish.
Okay, I'll get you fish. Just wait here, alright? Why so picky? I then did a little bit of fishing inside and got some salmon and cod. Alright, little buddy, I brought you some fish. There you go.
Mmm, delicious. Now about your cloud, it will naturally expand because of the smaller clouds combining with this one over time. Next time, I'll charge you 100 fish for information.
What? 100 fish? Hey, remember I'm the one that's feeding you. I can't get mad at something that cute. It's just not possible. So at the start of day 12, I started to work on making a much larger cobblestone generator. This time I'd be able to mine 3 cobble sources at once and had a hopper system set up to make it a lot easier. With all this cobblestone, I started to build a dark room, as I was definitely gonna need a source of XP and monster loot. This took me a couple days to finish, but once it was done on day 16, my cloud had expanded again. It was definitely looking a lot more spacious now. I then harvested my sugarcane farm and my wheat farm. I then went over to the darkroom grinder, and it was working just as intended. Started day 17, I started collecting more materials in the clouds. And while I was chopping wood, I got surrounded by a ton of pillagers on clouds. So I started to bow them down one by one. Where in the heck did these guys come from? Thank goodness I have a shield. You know what? Screw this. I'm just gonna knock them off into the void. Come on. Into the void you go. Okay, got a couple more to deal with. So after battling some pillagers, I ended up getting some melon seeds from one of the clouds and decided to make a little carrot, potato, and melon farm at the end of day 17. At the start of day 18, I placed down a bunch of the redstone ore I got and mined it all for some XP. I also expanded my melon farm, and then I saw some flying pigs coming towards my island. Most of them landed successfully on my island, so I created a little pen for them and lured them in. On day 18, I got a little bit of inspiration to build, so I mined a bunch of wood and cobblestone and started working on creating a little tower on top of my house. At first, it was just gonna be a watchtower, but I got a little inspiration and decided I had plenty of wool to make this into a windmill. Being up in the clouds and all, it's pretty windy up here, so it definitely made sense to have a windmill on one cloud. My cloud was definitely improving a lot. At the start of day 24, I harvested all my farms. I also crafted some golden apples and cooked up some baked potatoes. Once I stepped outside, however, there was a message that came across my screen. The king Whoa! What in the world is that?
Oh, that's just the Phantom Queen who kills anyone who attacks your children. No big deal.
That would have been nice to know beforehand. I have no potions. Okay, I have this bow at least. I gotta get on the roof. Okay, I've got the high ground. Wait, is there pillagers too? And just like that, the battle with the Phantom King began. He was capable of summoning in pillagers, so I went in to try and deal with them first. Managed to take a few out, but the Phantom King shot slime blocks at me that did a lot of damage. Okay, gonna eat a golden apple here. This bow is so weak. I've got to put power on this later on. Ouch, okay, stop, please stop. He keeps summoning in so many pillagers. Not only did he shoot slime blocks, but he shot phantom membranes as well. He started doing a lot more damage to me, so I ate another golden apple, but now was my chance. He had moved into melee range and I could use my iron axe to damage him. Yes, he's so low, come on. A few more shots. I've got this. This thing does such little damage, come on. Yes, okay. Unfortunately, the Phantom King killed a few of my livestock in the process, but I went over to its corpse and ended up picking up a mutated phantom membrane. Hey, little buddy, I got this weird phantom membrane from that boss. Can you tell me what it is?
20 fish and I'll tell you.
5 fish.
10 fish.
How about no fish?
Okay, fine, I'll tell you. That's a mutated phantom membrane. You can use it alongside diamond feathers and ghast tears to craft an elytra.
Okay, thank you, miss. Wait, have I not given you a name? Wait, do you have a name?
What's a name?
I guess you don't. I think I'll name you Cloudberry. Yeah, that sounds good. Cloudberry.
What's that mean?
Well, you came from a cloud, and you're shaped like a berry, so that's your name.
Okay.
And she's asleep again. Oh well, I guess I'll go to bed too. In the morning of day 25, I got some XP from the grinder. While I was climbing up to my roof, it turns out I was now in the diamond layer of the atmosphere. The sky had changed to a green color, and I began shooting the clouds to find out which new items I could collect. So I collected materials for the rest of the day, sorted my chest a little bit, and got some emerald, redstone, and diamond ore from the clouds. On day 27, my cloud had expanded again, and I then decided to breed all my animals. I kept on collecting new items from the clouds, but this time on top of my windmill. I got even more diamond ore from doing doing so, and made myself an enchantment table. I also made a diamond chest plate, got another diamond ore, and made some diamond leggings. I also got a trident and a bunch of cake. On day 29, I saw there was a panda rolling by, so I helped him get down from the cloud, and I even got some bamboo from bowing down the clouds. I then lured over the panda, but after luring him over, I realized how crowded it was getting with animals, so I spent the rest of day 29 getting a ton of wood for my next build. From days 30 to 33, I started to make a big platform, as I wanted a dedicated area to have all my animals, so I began working on a barn. Of course, the barn would mainly consist of oak wood and cobblestone, but with the amount of animals I had now, I thought it only made sense to make one. And after a few more days of building, and then capping off the roof, I added the interior of the barn, lured in all the animals, and finally the barn was complete. It had plenty of storage, and was out of the way of my main base. I decided to go over and add the final touches. However, when I started to go over, I realized there was a storm overhead. What is going on? What is Cloudberry doing?
Take cover!
Oh my gosh, what the heck? Is that a hailstorm? Run, Cloudberry, get inside! Oh my gosh, that does damage. Go inside, Cloudberry, quick! Don't just stand there. Okay, finally, she got inside. Oh my gosh, okay, I guess we gotta wait until the storm is over. That is dangerous. That's a 2.5 hearts to me. I'm in half diamond armor. So for the rest of day 34, I waited until the hailstorm had ended, and once it did, I went to the top of my windmill and continued collecting clouds. My goal is to complete my diamond armor set, and after a while, I get a bunch of emerald ore and diamond ore. Afterwards, I crafted my diamond helmet and diamond boots, then went back outside, harvested all my crops, and made a new wheat farm. With the wheat, I breeded my animals a bunch. While breeding my animals, my cloud expanded again. The cloud was actually getting kind of big now. I then got some XP from the grinder, and in the middle of the night, a bunch of strays on clouds started to raid my base. There was only a few at first, but they began to swarm like crazy. Even in full diamond armor, they began to overwhelm me. So I retreated back into my base to eat some food, and went back out to take out the rest. I then harvested my bamboo farm and made a diamond pickaxe, and for the next day, I collected a bunch of cobblestone, and after that, I expanded my tree farm and got a ton of wood. I then began my next project. I decided to make my cloud a lot more safe by building an outer wall around the entire cloud. I did most of it in cobblestone, and also connected a staircase from my balcony to the wall. I then used wood as the walkway for the top of the wall, as I wanted to use the walls to have really good range on shooting all the clouds. After putting in a little more detail, I went to sleep, and on the morning of day 41, a message appeared across my screen saying I was in the nether layer. The sky had turned a bright red, and I began receiving golden carrots, bottles of enchanting, magma creams, blaze rods, and all sorts of nether goodies from the clouds. And when I was about to build, I started to get attacked by blazes on some clouds. Thankfully, I had a water bucket to put myself out, but they were able to attack me from really far, and it did a lot of damage even though I was in diamond armor. I knocked one out of the cloud, but realized they were shooting my base, so I had to put it out. Luckily, I put out all the fires. I then ate a golden apple and went in to attack the blazes. They were all over my walls. I decided to target them one by one. I ate another golden apple, bowed one down, and then killed the other. I then added a few staircases and finished the walls. Even though the walls weren't super fancy, they served their purpose. I then sacrificed some cows from my barn and got some sugarcane. I then used those materials to make some bookshelves and made a little enchanting station right next to my grinder. I then collected a bunch more materials from the clouds, made myself a nether wart farm, crafted some brewing stands, set them up in front of the barn and mined some diamonds, and then crafted the rest of my diamond tools. For the next couple of days, I wanted to use my grinder to get some enchants. I ended up getting Fortune 2 on a pickaxe, Efficiency 4 on an axe, and Protection 3 on some pants and boots. Lastly, I got Power 4 and put it on my bow. I then continued getting materials from the clouds. However, a storm looked like it was brewing overhead. Is everything okay, Cloudberry?
We're gonna die!
What are you? Oh my goodness. Is that a tornado? We might be dead. What is going on? Calm down, calm down. Oh no, my base. What the heck? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Where did my pigs go? Oh, there they are. What in the bald just happened? After that interesting natural disaster, I realized I was able to get rid of the magma blocks by placing down water over top. So for the rest of the day, I cleared up all the magma blocks. Wait, I forgot to check on Cloudberry. Sound asleep. Well, that's a relief. On the next day, I figured it was time to brew some potions, so I harvested all my nether warts, brewed a bunch of strength 2 potions, speed 2 potions, and of course, can't forget instant health splash 2 potions. I then got a ton of levels from my grinder to finish enchanting the rest of my armor. I also got loyalty 3 on a trident, which allowed it to come straight back to me. I then got protection 3 on my chestplate and sharpness 3 on my sword. After that, I harvested all my farms, and on the start of day 51, I started to mine some cobble, but while mining cobble, there was a little magma cube that came from the sky. Where did you just come from? Well, that's weird. Seriously though, what? Oh my gosh. It's raining magma cubes. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Please tell me this is gonna stop sometime soon. Where the heck is Cloudberry? The magma cubes began to overwhelm me in the corner of my base, forcing me to throw down a potion and running away. When is this gonna stop? They continuously broke through my shield, which was on extremely low durability, but I was able to use the underside of my balcony for some cover, slowly fought my way back to the front of my base. I finally made it through the doorway, and with the protection of being inside my base, I killed as many magma cubes as I could. After a while of killing magma cubes, I finally cleared out the rest of my base. I then repaired my farms the next day and crafted a new shield, brewed some jump boost, fire resistance, and instant health potions. I then repaired all of my armor, and while harvesting my farms, my cloud expanded again. My cloud was getting pretty big now. For the next couple of days, I kept on collecting clouds with my bow, as I wanted to get enough diamonds to make all the diamond feathers I would need for the elytra later. I fortuned all the diamonds and got 24 diamonds to make 6 diamond feathers. After crafting those, I decided to do some fishing and get some more food for Cloudberry. I figured it's been a while since I fed her, so while looking around for her, I realized she was on top of my roof. How the heck did she get up here? I gave her a bunch of fish, which she ate happily. However, after she ate the fish, she actually grew a little bit in size. I guess she does have a lot of growing to do. Collecting more clouds, I heard a strange noise in the background, which I then realized was a ton of gas and piglins. They began pelting my walls, which I was pretty thankful for right now. I ended up returning one of the gas balls straight back at the ghast and started shooting out the clouds from underneath the piglins one by one. The gas continued to pelt my base, griefing some of the area. I then popped a fire resistance potion and took out all the blazes. After that, I ended up seeing there was a chicken in my grinder somehow. Not sure how that happened, but I repaired my walls, made myself an ender chest, and enchanted an efficiency 4 silk touch 1 pickaxe. I could now take my ender chest on the go. I then bred all of my animals and spent the next day gathering a bunch of trees to get up my wood supply. After collecting a bunch of wood, a strange message appeared across my screen. You've gotta be kidding. Cloudberry! Did you know about this thing too?
Know what?
About this giant Ghast King!
I told you before. You need Ghast King's tears for the elytra.
But you only said ghast tears, not Ghast King's tears.
Oops.
Oh man, I'm so screwed. This thing is griefing my base too. I gotta use the walls. Okay, I gotta, oh my gosh, as a whole. Oh no. The Ghast King started to summon in blazes and threw magma blocks at me. Not only that, but he also summoned in gas as well. There was a ridiculous amount of projectiles coming at me. It was probably best I didn't stay inside my base, as the whole thing would probably get destroyed. So I kept on the outside and started to shoot down all the blazes, popped a golden apple and started to shoot the Ghast King again. I threw down an instant health potion to heal myself and kept on shooting the Ghast King. He's so high up, what the heck? He was also able to shoot wither skulls. He brought me down to half HP, but I kept on pelting the Ghast King, threw down another potion, and landed some more bow shots. I then retreated from the Ghast King to eat another golden apple, turned around and realized he was super low. So I landed a couple more bow shots and defeated the Ghast King. The rest of the blazes pretty much fell into the void, but I made sure to take out the rest and started to repair my cloud. The Ghast King did a lot of damage, but while repairing, I realized he dropped the Ghast King's tear. I needed to ask Cloudberry how to craft this thing. Okay, Cloudberry, how do I craft this elytra?
I'll tell you.
Okay, cool. How do I craft it?
If you give me 20 fish.
Dang it, all right, fine. I'll get you your 20 fish. So I decided to fish for the rest of day 61, as I needed to collect a ton of fish for Cloudberry in exchange for the recipe. After I was finished, I went over to Cloudberry with all my fish. Here you go, Cloudberry.
Yay, more fish.
Okay, Cloudberry, I've got these item frames. I'll give you the items, and you'll show me how to make it.
Here you go.
And just like that, Cloudberry showed me how to make the elytra. So I took the items out of the item frames, went over to the crafting table, and crafted myself a cloud elytra. It had protection 4, mending, and even unbreaking 5. I was really happy I didn't have to enchant this thing, especially after what I had to go through to get it. I then started to get some EXP so I could repair all my armor, as my armor got pretty damaged from that Ghast King fight with all the projectiles. I then gathered materials to make myself a ton of fireworks. Right after that, I put a bunch of my extra potions in my ender chest and did a quick test run with one of my fireworks to test it with my elytra. Fireworks and elytra are definitely a match made in heaven. I then harvested all of my farms, as I was planning to explore the clouds with my elytra. Lastly, I brewed myself some slow falling potions just in case. Okay, Cloudberry, I'm gonna go exploring and try and find some sky islands. You stay here, okay? I don't want you to get hurt.
Take me with you. I can help.
You know, that would be great, but how am I supposed to carry you?
I'll hold on to your head.
Cloudberry, I don't think it's that Wait, what are you doing?
Let's get moving. Go, go, go.
Okay, Cloudberry, if you can hold on tight, I'll take you with me.
Yay! Yeah.
So after deciding to take Cloudberry with me, we both watched the sunset together, and once it was nighttime, I went to bed, woke up on day 66, and climbed to the top of my windmill. And finally, with Cloudberry on my head, I took a leap of faith with my elytra, and began using my fireworks to boost myself through the atmosphere. So for the next couple of days, I soared through the skies with my fireworks, and on the night of day 69, I finally found an island. What is over here? Wait, what happened to this village?
Where are the villagers?
I was just as confused as Cloudberry. The village was in ruins, and there were no villagers to be seen anywhere. There was tons of crying obsidian everywhere too. I wonder what caused all this damage. Once I realized the island was empty, I continued exploring with Cloudberry. After another couple days of travel through the clouds, I saw some strange airship in the distance. Wait, what are those?
Pirates! Let's steal their treasure.
Wait, they actually are pirates. I guess these guys are sky pirates or something. Once I landed on this airship, I got swarmed by a ton of undead pirates. One by one, I began to take them out, but even more of them started to come from the deck. Luckily, my sweeping edge sword allowed me to do some pretty good damage, but I was really starting to get overwhelmed. I continued battling them down the deck and finally defeated the last one. Hello? Oh my gosh. Who are you? It turns out this was the undead pirate captain, Deadbeard. The battle began and I immediately drank my potions, dodged a kick, and landed a few hits. I then barely dodged his hook slice and got kicked back. I was doing some pretty good damage. He was almost half health already. But then my man pulled out a Glock 19 and even kicked an explosive barrel at me. Whoa, this guy is dangerous. He then shot another bullet at me, which I luckily blocked, and kicked another barrel, which knocked me away from him. I then ate some food, threw down a potion, and went back in to do more damage. But some of his undead crew started to swarm me again. I realized I was getting him pretty low though, so I used my bow to take out the rest of the undead crew, barely avoided another bullet, went back in and landed the last hit on Captain Deadbeard. I then defeated his last crewmate and got Deadbeard's hook. I then went down to the second level of the airship and tested out some of the TNT cannons they had down there. Man, I haven't used one of these in a long time. The final layer of the airship had all sorts of goodies. It had TNT, diamond ore, gold ore, and even some nether quartz and emerald ore. So after defeating all the pirates and taking their treasure, I leapt off the front of the pirate ship and began exploring the atmosphere once again. After nearly using a stack of fireworks, and after a couple more days, I finally ran into another structure. This time, it was much larger. What in the world is this? This statue kind of looks similar to the one I saw in ancient Greece. And this place is huge. Whoa, what's inside here?
This looks dangerous.
I decided to ignore Cloudberry's advice, went inside, and found a book. The book read, "The Thunderwing Titan, Zeus's favorite pet, was tasked with defending the outer layers of the atmosphere from unwanted guests. The Thunderwing Titan resides in the electrosphere and has ultra-sharp senses." And the book ended there. I took the book, was preparing to leave, and then got attacked by some Ravagers. Where the heck did these guys come from? Luckily, I reacted pretty quickly, but they did some pretty good damage, so I threw down a pot and ender pearled away. Now that I created a lot of distance, I used my bow to take them all out. There was then a bunch more Vindicators that tried to avenge them, so I kited away a little bit and used my bow to take these guys out as well. Thank goodness I got power 4 on this thing. So after defeating all the Vindicators, I continued exploring the atmosphere. I was hoping I didn't run into the Thunderwing Titan anytime soon. After a couple more days of travel, I found another strange island, but this time it was covered in ice. Look, Cloudberry, I think I found your family.
Whoa!
What in the chonk is that? They were all shapes and sizes of little baby harp seals. It seemed like I'd finally found where Cloudberry had came from. This is basically seal heaven. So I let Cloudberry go off and talk to them. And after waiting a little while for Cloudberry to finish, Cloudberry scurried back on over. How was your talk? You don't want to stay with them?
I do, but I want to stay with you since you feed me fish.
Of course.
Also, they mentioned that they saw the Thunderwing Titan heading south.
Oh no, we have to leave fast. That's towards my base. I immediately jumped off the island and started to travel back with my fireworks. Unfortunately, I was extremely far out from my base, but I finally returned on day 80. Everything looks okay here. Wait, the end layer? Color of the sky then turned a deep purple. I was finally in the last layer. I started to receive ancient debris from shooting down the clouds. So for the next couple of days, I shot down as many clouds as I could to get myself some netherite. After doing so, I crafted some hoppers and got to work on creating a little stone farm. Since I had an efficiency 4 Silk Touch 1 pick now, I can now easily stock up on stone, so I could create some really cool projects and save on a lot of coal. I continued mining the stone for the rest of the day. On the morning of day 85, at first I didn't realize, but they were actually shulker boxes on the clouds. They immediately started throwing projectiles at me, and I tried bowing them down but couldn't hit them. I finally was able to shoot out the cloud from underneath underneath one, but it didn't kill it. Started to attack another, but started to get boosted really high in the air. So after getting boosted up, I pearled down, killed one shulker box, slowly started to take them out one by one. They were all over the walls too. After a while of going through my walls, I finally defeated them all. I went inside with the shulker shells I had collected and crafted a couple of shulker boxes. After that, I decided to make myself an auto fisher. By creating this, all I had to do was hold down right click, and I was able to get tons of different goodies. Pretty good source of food for Cloudberry. I then took the ancient debris I got, but before I could reach my front door, some particles started to appear around me. Wait, what is happening? Little did I know, this was a void storm. Vexes had started to spawn in around me as well, and I was taking a ton of damage. I had to throw down a ton of health potions, ender pearled out of the doorway to my ender chest, and ate a golden apple. I then got some more instant health potions out of my ender chest, and killed the surrounding Vexes. I then ran back inside to go put on my elytra, jumped off, and then used the firework to boost myself up, escaping the hordes of Vexes. I landed on top of my grinder and used my height advantage so I could bow down all the enemies. A couple of them still attacked me, but I managed to take them all out and then went to sleep. At the start of day 90, I repaired all of my armor, collected my netherite scraps, and made one netherite ingot, and with that ingot, I turned my chestplate into a netherite chestplate. While putting the rest of the scraps I had in the chest, my cloud had expanded as well. And so, now that I had some extra room to work with, I grabbed all the stone I had farmed and began to work on a watchtower. I figured I'd connect this to my castle walls as well, and of course, I finished off the roof, and now I had a pretty excellent spot to look out from. The base is looking pretty cool now too. After building the watchtower, I figured I'd brew some more potions, and brewed a ton of instant healths, but while getting my shulker boxes, more void particles started to appear around me. I went outside to take a look, and a meteor shower had started, and all of a sudden, he had finally made his appearance. Oh my gosh. Okay, gotta bow this guy. Look at the size of him.
Ah, we're doomed.
I realized early on that he was actually immune to arrow shots, and he struck me with lightning over and over. So I put on my elytra and started to attack him with my sword. It was actually really difficult to hit him this way, but I finally landed my first hit and kept on using my fireworks to boost myself into the air and attack the Thunderwing Titan. I started to get the hang of it a little bit and started landing some hits. I then boosted back inside of my base to go drink some more potions and threw down a health potion. He then used a strange ability which actually knocked me back. It's almost like he was summoning massive winds. I then went in to attack him again and landed another hit, and then I realized the Thunderwing Titan actually gave me a hunger debuff, like it wasn't strong enough. The Thunderwing Titan curled up into a ball and then struck a ton of lightning around me, damaging me down to 4 hearts. It also gave me slow fall as well. Okay, gonna go in again. Okay, awesome, landed another hit. Okay, landed another hit. Oh gosh, what's he doing? All right, I'm fine. It's starting to get dark now. Oh gosh, don't get hit by that. Whew, that was a close one. I've got to be a little more careful. When going back inside of my base, I accidentally landed inside the pig pen, and the lightning that struck around me actually turned all my pigs into zombie pigmen. Unfortunately, I was forced to take out all my pigs. Sorry, little guys. Went back in again, landed another hit. The Thunderwing Titan ran away. Cloudberry! Where did that thing just take her? Oh gosh, I gotta move fast. The Thunderwing Titan had fled, so I made a bunch more fireworks, got the potions out of my ender chest, and made an extra shield to prepare to chase down the Thunderwing Titan. I had to save Cloudberry. I began boosting into the air to try and chase this thing, and after a couple days of travel, I was finally in the outer layer and saw an island ahead of me. This must have been it. Cloudberry, I'm on my way! Oh my gosh, why is there hail? With a hailstorm overhead, I landed on the island, threw down a health potion immediately. It was clear I was in his domain now and he would have the advantage. Oh my gosh, I did that. Throw down a pot. Yes, okay. No. After nearly dying, I flew up into the air to try and get some hits, but the Thunderwing Titan casted a ton of lightning again. How is this even possible? I went in to try and hit it again, but I had to run away to eat food and drink another potion. After doing so, I went in again with my rockets and dove down to try and attack it. Why are there so many projectiles? Oh, come on, he's knocking me away with his wind. Oh wait, he's gonna use that ability, isn't he? Yep. Okay, just barely dodged that one. I continuously used rockets to keep trying to land hits, but the wind he kept casting kept pushing me back. I then remembered that I had my trident, so I started using my trident and landed some hits. I tried using it one more time, but actually missed, and my trident fell into the void. I was definitely not getting that back. Thunderwing Titan was actually getting really low, so I went in to try and finish it off, and after one more big hit, Thunderwing Titan curled up and then plummeted down into the void, never to be seen again. That is a far fall. I then pillared up to try and find Cloudberry and found her trapped behind some glass. Don't worry, Cloudberry, I got you.
Can we go home now?
So I let Cloudberry hop onto my head once more and dove back down into the atmosphere. Made it back to my base on day 98, somehow still in one piece. I was just happy that Cloudberry wasn't hurt. I then went back inside to gather my bearings, and then decided to fix the windmill that the Thunderwing Titan had griefed. And after fixing one of its propellers, I finally made it to day 100. I want to give a big shout out to Lily Pichu for contributing to this video. She's an amazing content creator and musician, and you should definitely check her out in the description below. Also, leaving a like and comment is greatly appreciated. Before the video ends, I want to give you a quick reminder to take full advantage of the Dragon City gift you can receive by using my sponsored link in the description below. It's completely free, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. Thanks for watching.